Welcome to another episode of On Stage Podcast. We're going to do something different today. We're going to do an in-person interview with my friend Mitch, who's a solo independent artist at the Coolit Cafe in Port Credit, Mississauga. Let us enter now. He's a great musician. I met him in July of this year, 2024, and I can't wait to see him again. Let's enter.
Nice, I like guitars.
Why? Well, that's where I think that's what happened. They're like,
Welcome, Mitch.
oh, good to see
Nice to meet you. It's good that we're now at Coolit's
Yeah.
Cafe finally. Get a chance to interview you
Yes.
for the On Stage podcast. Welcome, everyone. We have a gentleman here, a musician named Mitch, who goes under the name of Understandtrees. He has the answer to all the trees you ever want to know, all the questions.
I do. I know what they think.
You have your tea and a drink and everything ready?
Yes.
Good. So, Mitch, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Can you give us a little bit of a background of who you are and whatever got you into music?
What got me into music? Green Day. They did American Idiot album in 2000 or something like that. Around that time, I think it was like 2003 or something. Remember 2004? Like 2004, like it's like one of those years that like never happened. Did anything happen to you in 2004? Like 1995. Like, do you ever remember 1995?
I do.
Do you really? I was like wondering, like, because I have like certain decades, some certain years are like impactful, but some decades or some years are just like nothing happened. 1995 for me, but that was Green Day did an album, and I thought it'd be cool to learn how to play the guitar. And my cousin was playing it at the time. He showed me a couple things, and then I just basically hit it until it sounded good.
So why the guitar and went on a different instrument?
It was just there. It was just at the house. We were out east when I first started playing the guitar in PEI, and my cousin there, we had a beater guitar that had, like I was telling Fraser, that we got it's like 3 different guitars like glued together because it's so beat up, and the action on it was like this high, and that was there. And then my cousin had a guitar, and he showed me, or my cousin boyfriend, no, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
19.
when I was younger, my aunt lived in Newfoundland, and we were going to drive through PEI. We went to PEI, and at the ferry strike, what was that, 72, 73, I think? We just stayed in PEI. We saw Anna Green Gables, and we came back.
So you got to PEI, and then there was a ferry strike?
No, the ferry strike, we were actually going to go to Newfoundland to visit my aunt.
Oh, okay.
But when the ferry strike happened, we couldn't. So my mother said, let's just go to PEI. So we went to PEI.
Oh.
And I went to PEI in 2017.
Oh, yeah. I was there in 2017.
Charlottetown, really beautiful place.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I
I love the mountains. It looks like you're in Ireland when you're looking out it's really nice.
Yeah, it's so scenic.
Oh, yeah.
PEI is lovely.
And you saw the house?
Sorry?
Anna Green Gables' house? Did you see that one?
We kind of grew up in PEI, so like we would go there every summer because my mom's family's basically from PEI, and so we would summer there, but we never did any of the tourist things. We just work. They're always building something. There's farms and lots of stuff for the kids to run around and make up games and stuff. But I don't think I've ever been to Anne Green Gables. No, I know where it is. I've driven through Cavendish, but I've never stopped and looked.
Yeah, have you, do you have a family still in PEI?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like almost everybody's there.
Anybody music inclined or?
From my family?
Just you.
Is anybody in my immediate family
Musically inclined, yeah.
My sister, like they all like music, but do they play? My sister played the piano. She started playing the piano. She did the lessons, and I remember having to go sit in the waiting room while she had her lesson. But Mick doesn't play. Nobody else plays. No. My dad wants to learn, but he has a hard time. He's a hard time with the rhythm. He says he can't find the rhythm in the songs.
Yeah. So, what's your first song that you played on the guitar? It's always like
I think it's our generation's version of that is
Thunderstruck?
Seven Nation Army.
Oh, Seven
Dun, 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 dun. Just one
Oh,
string.
yeah.
That's ours.
And now you can play it professionally. You can play anything. So if I asked you to play a Green Day song like When September Ends, you'll be able to play it?
No, but I could learn how to play it. Yeah, I'm very anti cover song. I don't like playing other
Really?
people's songs. Yeah,
Wow. They're very rare, but I do meet artists who refuse to do cover songs.
it's not a straight up refusal. It's just if I have the time, I tend to put it towards making other music, and it's nothing against cover songs because I've seen some amazing. One of my buddies, I remember Brendan. I don't know if you, the big guitar player who would come play with me.
Yeah.
He's his cover versions of songs are so different than the original that they're basically a new song, and it's
Really?
I love when that happens. I don't want to play through the chords and just play a cover song. I want to see something happen, and he's like, it's very rare that I see somebody do a rendition of it. So that's more. I love seeing that. That's cool.
Did you have a good relationship with your parents, and then they sort of encouraged you to play the guitar, or?
Oh yeah. They were. I mean, like it's a music, as I'm sure you know, is like when it's not good, it's hard to listen to. So like when people are starting out, they always blow their own feet off because it doesn't sound good right away. So they tolerated it. They still tolerate it, and it's getting better. But like it's still making music is it's a to the point of like it's not always good right away, and that threshold is like it's always going to be there. You get better at technically playing, but when you're experimenting and you want to create something, like you're gonna mess up. Like it's horrible. It sucks. But you just know, you can hear it. You know it wants to do something. So you just have to be patient with it. So they were patient with my American Idiot. If I'm not mistaken, and fact check me on this, I think they recorded that entire album in one session after practicing it. Really? Because when you listen to American Idiot, every song goes into the next one. There's no distinct change into anything else.
I think you're right, yeah.
And when I learned that, and like it was captivating. When I listened to that, I would listen to the album right through every single time because it was one big long song. And it wasn't that I had any musical knowledge or background in music. I just was drawn to that and his stories and his ideas about, like, he just really managed to combine like feeling and idea into one really coherent project. All three of them did. It was a really. I thought that was like one of the best albums I've ever heard in my. Albums are not common, like when they're in that kind of whole coherent. It didn't do it so well later on, but like that one was. I thought that was their best one.
Well, I think the longest song is When September Ends is my favorite song. I don't think I like any of the other songs, but When September Ends is my favorite.
You don't like American Idiot?
No.
No?
I'm not a big Green Day fan.
Okay, but actually, and I think I'm right on this one too, but fact check. I think the longest song on that one is actually Macy's Day Parade, and it's like 16 minutes. Like there is a song on that album that is so long, and it's so good. But like I mean, I was drawn to it, so I was like, you know.
I don't know. When I first heard When September Ends, I just said, I like that song. Keep it there. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah. Oh, but that is a beautiful song.
But I heard some other songs I just can't remember.
Yeah.
But so was Green Day one of your biggest musical influences? Who else?
Yeah. I would say that they were a catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of odd in like almost every respect in my life, and when it comes to me, I don't really listen to a lot of music.
Oh.
I did when I was younger, and I would say like when I have to think back to when I did listen, because like I really don't listen to a lot of music now. I just, if I'm listening to something, it's usually those like 430 hertz binaural beat sound baths.
Really?
You know, that you can go on YouTube and just like sit there and 770 hertz, and it's just like it's very like, and I meditate, and it's just very chill, and no singing, no melodies, just sound, and I just sit in the sounds. But I mean, like I love Gregory Alan Isaacoff. I think he's so magical. Like he's composes such incredible folk singer-songwriter songs that are huge. They're like as big as the landscapes that he's singing about. And then and I've always liked One Republic, which is a pop band from the 2000s. They're still around.
Wow.
They're great. I used to sit on the fairway machine at the golf course that I worked at and just sing with the lead singer of that band over and over and over and
Really?
over and over again, trying to sing like him because he was able to
Wow.
do all these crazy things with his voice. I'm like, how do you do that? That's so neat to be able to like.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was fun.
But you don't like listening to music, so you're a musician, but you don't like listening to it.
I don't like listening to music. I don't like listening. Like,
Wow.
it actually bothers me sometimes. Like it's.
Really?
I think it's not because I don't like it or it doesn't feel good or it's not fun or it's not good. I think I'm just really fascinated by it, too fascinated by it, so I can't not hear it. So if there's music going on, it like kind of takes all of my attention, and I don't want to give my attention away like that. I want to be, maybe I have ADD or something. I don't know, but I drive in silence. I sit in silence. I really like being quiet.
Yeah, I kind of sometimes don't want to listen to music. I'm listening to a song and I had enough and put down in the middle of the song.
Yeah.
So when you write songs, what's your creative song process? Like, what do you start with? The melody, the harmony? Do you start with lyrics? What?
When I make a song, it's by accident. So like it's always by accident. So like
Really?
like 2 days or like a week ago, I was out for a walk to the cafe, and on the way there, I just did na 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 na, and I don't know where that came from, and now that's a song. Like I'm working on it right now.
Really?
I was just walking, so I walk in silence too. So I'm like walking to the cafe, and then na na na, it just happens. It happens all. It's not like it doesn't happen like every day, but I know that like if I'm not doing anything or I'm out for a walk and I'm in quiet, I sometimes hear stuff, and that's always cool when that happens. But I'll either grab the guitar and just start playing chords, or the piano, just playing stuff, and you get inspired. Or it's when I don't have a way to manufacture. It's always different. It's always changing.
What is your what do you want people to take away from your music?
That's a good question. You know what? I don't nothing. What like up until now, I've been very like flying by the seat of my pants with a lot of my work, and so I'm just gonna share it with you, and I whatever. Like it's nothing. It doesn't matter. But like I have been slowly as I'm getting more mature. I think I'm going like, well, maybe maybe I could try to like give something to somebody with it instead of it just being for because it's hard to explain. Like I know when the song's sad, and that's probably gonna make you sad, but I don't write it with the intent of like I want you to be sad. I just this is a feeling, or you know how hard it is to say this. It's like I know I know what it feels like, and now maybe you feel that. So I guess that's kind of what is the dialogue that then.
Okay, so
It's a hard question to answer.
it's not really, because usually most of the I've spoken to, most musicians say that it's sort of experience. They create a song, like they lose somebody. Like for instance,
Oh yeah,
like the song "Wrecked" by Imagine Dragons.
yeah.
Dan Reynolds, his brother's wife, she died. Her name's Alicia. She died of cancer. So he wrote the song "Wrecked," and he wrote it out of heart of sadness and depression, darkness, because he was close to her. So he wrote "Wrecked." But when you sing a song that you've never lost anybody, so how can you sing "Wrecked"? I refuse to sing it because I didn't lose my sister-in-law.
Okay.
Usually people write songs like I could write a song about the death of my parents or the death of my friend, but I can't really write a song about something I'm not familiar with, like the death of my brother or my death of my sister or whatever. So it's a powerful song. So do you write most of your music can be part of experience, or you just like walking towards a cafe and, oh, that's a song, I'll just write that?
That's interesting. Like my buddy Ryan, we work together every day doing masonry stuff. Like that's our job. But then he's also an incredibly talented musician, and so we talk a lot and we make a lot of music together. And he's the one who told me, he's like, when your songs, they're like stories that never happened to you. And I was like, yeah, I make up characters, and then they tell, and then something happens in their story.
It's interesting.
So it's not me. I just know what it feels like to whatever feeling you want me to describe. Like I can empathize with like my friend, I was just showing her the new song, and she, after I finished the song, she's like, that's how I felt. And I was like, I know that's how you felt. That's because I knew that's how you felt. That's why I kind of did it this way, because I knew you felt that way. I was kind of surprised in myself, but I can't contrive it. It happens naturally. Like I'm walking down the street and I hear a song, and then I write the song, but the song seems to evoke a feeling in other people that they identify with, but I'm not. I'm just going like, I just wrote. I don't. You know what I mean? It's very. I'm arm's length from it, but I can understand it.
I think I'm beginning to understand you a little bit more. We haven't known each other for that long, about 4 months or something.
Yeah, really.
Now, I've always wanted to ask you, Misunderstandtrees. Can you give us a little bit of idea where you got that from, what it means to you, and what we're supposed to take away from it?
Misunderstandtrees or Understandtrees?
Your Understandtrees, yeah. Your name.
My name is
Understandtrees.
My artist name is Understandtrees, but I like to call Misunderstandtrees.
That's the thing, Misunderstandtrees. Why not?
I don't know. Where did the name come from?
Yeah.
So the golf course I mentioned earlier, like I spent a long time working there, and I met a lot of cool people, and one person in particular had a huge impact on me. You'd go, you're allowed to go take a leak if you needed to go. You didn't have to go back to the shop every time. You could just get off your machine and go in the bush and then take a leak. So I would go in the bush and take a leak. I'd look up at the trees, and I always thought that was such a cool view. So I started taking photos of this, like looking up at the trees, and then I wrote in my journal, and I still have the journal from years ago. It's like, stand under trees and look up at them, and then I managed to condense that over time to Understand Trees, which is just a play on words of what's it like to take a leak under a tree.
Yeah, when I cut there for a minute. Is it still recording? Yeah, just gonna make sure the email just suddenly okay. Yes, so yeah, I've always wondered. I have here under trees. I don't know whether you misunderstand trees, under trees, or understand.
Understand trees, or you can call me whatever you want.
Yeah,
yeah.
Mitch.
Yeah.
So, can you tell me what's your favorite song to perform live and why? Like when I'm here visiting one of my good friends here, and I found you playing. Well, actually,
I was out there in the summer for the first time.
You had Braden, I think his name was, and
Brendan,
Brendan, and Sarah. Sarah,
yeah,
who were all really good.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, wow, that's a great song. So what's your favorite song? Your first? Did you have an opener and a closer?
I have an opener.
Okay.
And that's the Everything's Fine song.
Is it really?
No. That's why I'm always nervous. It's always nervous. And I tell people I'm playing this because I'm nervous, and it calms me down. It's one of those songs that it's like tongue in cheek, like it's not, everything is not fine. But the song is so nice and and delicate and bouncy and plucky and melodic that you're like, everybody who's listened to it, they always like, oh, it's so calming, so nice. So I take a lot of people's direction, to be honest, because I don't really know. I can never know what. I can't value any of the songs I write. Other people tell me what they think, and then if they like it, then I'll keep playing it. And if they don't like it, I probably won't play it anymore. Yeah, and I noticed that when I first met you, you brought every Friday, you brought different artists here that you found, or did you know them already? Well, I can't get rid of them. No, I'm joking. I try to. I try to include. I love including people, and I've been working in the indie music scene in Toronto since 2017, and like I pretty much know. I know so many artists, and through working with them, that whenever something happens, I'm always like, hey, do you want this? Is a cool vibe. Maybe you'd fit in, or some people I know right away will work. Some people I know they won't work, and so I'm always trying to bring in new people to sit down and show their artwork, because I know, because maybe you know this too, but you go to do you know about open mics? Yeah, I love open mics. Yeah. I do some of them all the time, like karaoke's, but they're different. Okay, so karaoke, yeah. Well, I'll just put that over here because it's still an open mic-ish, but like an open mic of indie musicians who are out there, or comedians or poets or.
That's right. We had one here where people just like the woman that just the girl that just wanted to play.
Oh yeah.
Remember that girl?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you allowed it.
Yeah.
That was.
So I didn't know her. I don't know
But-
Mikey Bloom, who's Mississauga's boy.
Mhm.
He came. I met him through running for the mayor, and then I invited him out, and he brought some people, and I was like, absolutely, that's a cool thing to do, right?
Yeah.
So meeting new people.
I like that.
That wasn't an open mic though. It was supposed to be a show, but like
It's
I'm
still
not
an
gonna
open
say
mic.
no.
I mean,
Like it's just fun.
Yeah.
But an open mic isn't explicitly centered around the idea of rolling through a list of people who come and sign up.
Okay.
And almost all of them are almost all of them are trying to make it as a creative in some way, shape, or form. Some people just like to play live and they just have a hobby, but open mics are mostly for creative people.
You mean like promoting themselves? Sort of.
Promoting themselves, but because the community, the thing is, what I brought up was that it's people who don't know any better wouldn't know it existed. Like there are so many bars in Toronto that are doing these open mics that the everyday person who's like looking for something to do should go and see these, because there's like, you can be there from 7 to 1 a.m. and it's a Rolodex of incredible art, and it's free. But people don't know it because it's not mainstream. It's not on the radar. Now Magazine doesn't publish it, stuff like that. So we try to promote it as much as we can.
Hoping that we'll make it one day, and whatever that means. Make it one day. Like, isn't that what indie artists is, to make it? Or
I think it's every artist has their own barometer for what they need in order to feel fulfilled.
Wow. Okay. So when you're starting writing songs, how do you handle writer's blocks or creative slumps? How do you get over them?
I panic. I mean, it was funny because when I asked me how things were going when I walked in, I was like, it's been pretty dense. Like there's these periods of, like, it's like the sun got hotter or the gravity goes up, and you just have to just keep going. Like, you don't try to I don't try to force anything. Sometimes I say, I'm never playing again. I'm done with music. I give up. I'm going to the mountains to meditate. You know, but I never actually go. I want to go one day when I have more work to do first before I go to the mountains. But I've learned to relax. So like, this is a shunt means peace in Hindi. And like, I just want to, like, I know things are going to go wrong, and things are going to get knocked over, and it's going to be scary and hard and all that stuff. So I just try to meditate and just relax and let it happen. And I just started doing a new breathing exercise, which is I just breathe in, and then I say breathe in gratitude, and breathe out love, and I just do that quietly to myself over and over all day to just remain calm, because like, you know what it's like to drive in traffic, or to be late for the train, or to have no creative energy, or to be confused about the future or money or politics, or it's like, oh my God, just relax.
Wow. Do you have routines before you go on stage? Like, do you do the jumping jacks and
No, but you know what I was thinking about that exactly today, because I grew up playing hockey and I was a goalie, and goalies, as like everybody knows, they're kind of weird, right? And they have their ways of doing things, and you would have rituals. So I remember I would watch certain goalies on YouTube, and then with my headphones in, and then I would close my eyes and try to visualize their movements and embody their movements. And I do that in the dressing room, and to get ready for the game. And I've never done that for music. And I was literally today thinking, like, I think I should start to implement some kind of ritual, because like I've done full disclosure, I've done shows in multiple different headspaces, if you know what I mean, like with different maybe substances involved, all sorts of different ones, sober to the other extreme, where I can't even stand up and play, and that's embarrassing. But I have never been able to lock in a routine, and I was thinking just today, I was like, I think that would be actually a good idea for me to take another step forward as a professional.
So where do you see yourself in like this time next year, or 5 years from now, like, for instance? You want to go that far?
Holy smokes, man. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. Like, I don't even, like, sorry, I'm laughing because, like, people who know me, like, they just, it's a bit of a joke. Like things are always changing. Like, if you could see me in the morning, and then by that night, my whole life could have changed. and I could be onto something else. And I do that all the time, and I love that. So I have no idea where I'm going to be in a year or 5 years from now. I just know how to try to be calm.
True. You're one day at a time, right?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Do you have a most memorable moment of your music career? Music?
That's a neat question, because like I have so many. Like I've had so many cool moments, but so my favorite thing, and I realized this, or I remembered it 2 days ago, because I busked. So I like busking. It's just you sit on the, and I'll do it in the winter.
Wow.
But I have taken when I first started it. Do you mind if I go on a little bit of
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
a story here? Because in 2018,
yeah,
I had started playing open mics and started like taking it kind of seriously. And like I know I've written songs. I'm afraid to play them live. I can't play them drunk in my bedroom anymore. I have to go out into the world and show, because it's a challenge, right? It's like you will stagnate and perish if you don't do it that way. Unless if you're fulfilled at home doing that, that's fine. Because I know a lot of garage warriors who they love playing in the garage, and they have
garage warriors.
Yeah,
wow.
They're the best. It's so much fun, right? Because there's no who cares, like you're just having fun, right? But if you have that like buzzing itch to like, I want to do a little bit more, I want to see what happens.
Yep.
You got to feed that, or otherwise you're just going to go nuts. And I know what it's like to go nuts. So like I'm like, okay, I'll push myself into these open mics, and then I push myself to busk. And so I went down to Toronto. I'd never done this before. I had my guitar. I'm like terrified. It was April of 2018. I go to Union Station, and I get outside on the sidewalk, and I panic, and I can't do it. I'm too scared. So I run back into the station. I try to get back on the train, and the train door just closes. And I'm like, no, I have to busk now. I have to. And so I drag myself out, and I open my case, and I'm like, oh, I'm playing. Oh. And I look around like, oh, nobody cares. Oh my God, this is amazing. Nobody cares. And I had the best time. And I fell in love with the anonymity of this. Like, you could say your music just wasn't good, which is fine. You could say that. I don't care. It was the fact that I was doing something that was so scary that had no negative repercussions at all. I was like, I was curious why you're nodding so much. Do you have a thought? I would love to hear your thought.
Yeah, it reminds me because you know who Joshua Bell is? He's a well-known violinist.
Okay.
So in New York City, he decided to play the violin in New York City dressed as a homeless guy.
Oh.
And people were going to Joshua Bell's concert, and they had tickets, and they didn't recognize him.
Wow, eh?
So he was playing, and people were saying, okay, that's fine.
Yes.
They had no idea it was Joshua Bell.
There you go. That's a
Anonymity.
The anonymity. That's it's hard to say, and it's fun to say. Once you get it with the tongue, it's all in the teeth. Anonymity. So like that experience was a spiritual experience for me. I'll never forget that moment, and it has stuck with me all the entire time. And then from that moment till now, there's been all sorts of stuff that's happened, right? And part of the problem that I've realized over this trajectory I've lost touch with this. And so 2 days ago, I actually did it. I had to drag myself. I was here with Fraser beforehand, and I was like, I'm bringing my little guitar, and I'm going to go try and busk. I'm going to busk. And I got myself to Toronto, and I opened my case, and I played, and immediately I felt back to normal. Like, nobody cares. I'm freed again from my psychological burden of trying to become something, or it has to be the best, or da-da-da-da-da. Nobody cares. It's such a beautiful moment. So when I do that, I find that's where I really deeply connect with something that's hard to describe. It might be music, because it's really not, but like, I just love singing and dancing and bouncing around, right? But I don't want to have to sell tickets or promote or do all the legwork, and I'm complaining, but at the same time, it really does eat away at the part that you really enjoy, and so much so you can lose touch with it. And so I just remember many, many, many experiences of anonymity and busking. But this one time I was sitting, and I used to sit down because I didn't sound sitting down. I used to like curl up basically in a fetal position and play so nobody sees me. And I'm on the sidewalk.
Really?
Yeah, I'm terrified.
Wow.
And I'm playing one of my songs, and this kid in the stroller, he goes like this. I was like, this is the best. Like this little, just like he doesn't give up with the thumb. As his mom's pushing him away. It was so beautiful. Like those little moments they make my life happy.
Is that how you say motivated and inspired, by anonymity and doing this, or is it just some days you're gonna wake up in the morning and say, I don't have a song. What am I gonna do?
I never worry about whether or not, so I don't wake up going, oh no, I won't be able to make anything today. Like that, I'm never worried about not being. Part of me wishes I could just stop making stuff so that I can move on to other things. Because it's a laggard sometimes. But like I said, you break through the psychological threshold. The busking helped me remember some key aspects of this that really do bring me joy, and then I can just relax, and it stops being anything more than what it is, right? So I don't really wake up worrying about being creative or not.
Yeah, that's interesting. But the whole thing with Joshua Bell, while he played anonymity and people didn't know who he was, and they were going to go and watch him in concert. That's what brought me that memory.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to talk to him about that experience, because I bet you that's why he's doing it. He's getting pulled by racehorses in so many different directions because of his production and how good he is. And you lose something. Like, he forgot why he liked to play the violin, and he's like, I bet you if I just go there and just play to nobody, that this will do something to me. Not even about. I bet you he was like, they're gonna know my violin songs. But then when they didn't, he's like, oh, I'm free. I'm free from the punishment of being famous.
Yeah.
I wonder how he felt after that. I'd be curious to know.
Not really sure, but I know the fact that you familiar with an actor by the name Richard Gere?
Richard Gere? Yeah.
Remember Richard Gere?
Yeah. You remember Richard Gere?
So anyway, he was in a movie and he had to play a bagman, homeless man. So he spent 2 weeks on the streets as a homeless guy.
Oh yeah.
And nobody recognized him. So talk about anonymity. I like
yeah.
to change your name, anonymity.
I love
Ladies and gentlemen,
anonymity. And Anonymous was that hacking gang. So
can you tell us about your latest project or album, or you have some books here?
Well, these are the books I wrote these a few years ago. I think
So can you tell us about
2021?
Vacumia?
So so they're all a series, and they're all very short, and they are all about how thoughts aren't real. So I have this slogan. It's thoughts aren't real. I just tell people thoughts aren't real. And so those books are me kind of poetically trying to poke you to make you think about whether or not thoughts are real or not.
Well, it's very interesting. Why would humanity come up with a God? What purpose does it serve? Wow.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of dense stuff in there.
I'm going to talk to you about that.
But that's actually about that book is actually about a lady who can't stop thinking and watches her vacuum clean the floor over and over and over again.
This is interesting though. So the cicada, really interesting. Wow.
Cicada, yeah.
So you actually wrote all these?
Yeah, nice. I did. And then there's one more because somebody actually bought one of them. But this one's about anxiety, and then this one's about somebody takes a train over
and phobia,
terrorism. This one, I don't
know. They're short though.
They are very short. This one's about a guy waiting in a doctor's office. This is really old. These are poems and unreleased songs that I never did. I remember when I read this book, these are all songs that I was too afraid to sing.
Oh, really?
You get to this point where you're I have the words and everything, but I just can't will myself to sing the songs because I just don't.
Interesting, yeah. Now the Here, What I Haven't Done, Laboria, Phobia.
Yeah, there's a bunch of books.
This is actually pretty interesting.
This one's about my ex-girlfriend.
So there you go. There's a song waiting to happen.
Julia. She has a few songs. There are songs that I have it's almost retrospective. You start working on something, you finish it, and then you're like, oh yeah, that makes me think of this person or whatever.
I enjoy the fact that you're not only a musician, but you wrote all these little tiny little books like poetry.
Yeah, they don't rhyme, but it's hard to describe that. It's
why can't you just put these to music?
Because I don't want to. I never thought about that actually. That's a cool idea.
Halloween. I don't know anyone, someone else. What is going through your mind when you wrote this?
That's a good question. I mean, I like to argue with people about how thoughts aren't real. And then I just sit there and go, prove it. And then like, no, you have to prove it. I was like, oh, no, you trust me, go for it. Where are these thoughts? And like, these are all explorations of like, how do I talk about it, or maybe challenge people to, ironically, to think about that one part of their lives, which is thoughts.
It's interesting you should say that, because I always thought, remember with people with schizophrenia, they hear voices?
Mhm.
And then I saw that movie, If Walls Could Talk, and I'm thinking, what if people argue over the years and the walls kind of like soak it in, and then somebody comes in and they start hearing these voices of all
Oh,
these
that's
arguments?
really interesting.
You
Yeah.
know? That would be interesting. I
Oh,
wonder if that could, like, sometimes, I know there's been, my apartment building has been up since, I think it's 80, 82 or something. And I'm thinking everyone that's been in my apartment and had arguments, because I noticed that the door lock, it has like a brace there. So it's like someone had broken it in. So my door, out of everyone else, it's just like a little bracket there. And I thought maybe like, and sometimes I don't hear voices, but sometimes I hear talking and stuff. And I know it's from, the third floor and whatever, but that just came into my mind when you read that that's probably what it is. It's just that the walls just soaking up everyone's speech, and then suddenly people who have these sort of sensitive ears can hear these arguments.
I'm pretty I love mysticism, and I'm very interested in spirituality. I'm very open-minded when it comes to this stuff. So like hedging with like the walls aren't actually talking. Like I get it, but I also think it's and even and like Fraser brought it up earlier when we were talking about the soil compaction over time. Like nature is the process. Nature takes its time. We think we know what's going on, and we interfere with that pattern, and then we have a ego, and that causes us problems. So like the less we think, i.e. thoughts aren't real, the less you think, the more you listen, nature actually will steer you in the direction that it knows you should go, because it's nature. Like, if you're going to trust something, you might as well trust the thing that was here before you were born and it's going to be here after you're dead.
Okay. Do you believe in God? Do you believe there's an actual personality named God? Like,
oh yeah,
God the Father?
I mean, like, I always want to like just demarcate God from like religion, because like I understand the utility of religion, but I am not somebody, because the thing about religion for me, it always seems, and I've studied and I know a lot of people who are religious and spiritual, and I know of a lot of different friends, and we all talk about this, and it's very interesting because I've noticed the difference between spirituality and religion is that religion, you're not allowed to ask any more questions after a certain point. And I'm like, that's fair. I respect that. If that's your headspace, I understand. I can empathize. But I'm not like that. I actually I'm more curious, and I want to know more. And if that's impossible, cool, whatever. I'll just die in the process. I'm not worried about that.
You should watch we watch it. Jordan Riley, he's got like his cap, but he's got it this way.
Oh, yeah?
Like a baseball player. Like you've just
turn it around and go backwards. Yeah, like the cool kids.
Yeah. So how do you balance your personal life with your music? Like there's got to be a time when you're not doing music.
Yeah.
There's no Mitch with music. There's no Understandtrees with just, what do you do if not music? You're not picking up your guitar. You're not singing. What do you do?
Oh my God, I'm always doing. I love doing things. Like I was trying to understand. I think I have a strong enough modern monetary policy. I'm learning about economics now. Like I'm interested in economics now. So like I like learning Canadian tax law, and I want to understand how because I like, yeah, if I'm not making music, it's usually what happens, I've noticed, is a cycle of like I get burned out of performance, and while I'm having fun, the world goes to hell a little bit. And so I'm like, oh, well, all this stuff has happened now. I got to catch up with the world. And that steers me in a direction of like, oh, I'll learn about chemistry or modern monetary theory or economics or math or like 2 years or 3 years ago, we were in a band, and it was called We the Trees, and it was a lot of fun. And we did like 16 shows in 3 months, right up until the fall. And then we stopped, and we played the Horseshoe Tavern a couple times. And then we stopped to do like, to jam over the winter. And I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. So like, what I wanted to do was learn math. That's for some reason. And they're like, what are you talking? Like literally, they're like, this doesn't make any sense. Why are you quitting music to learn math? I was like, I don't know, man, but I am not making music anymore. I'm going to go learn math. And then I went and enrolled in a bunch of courses and sat at home for months by myself learning math, algebra up to calculus, because I didn't.
You're kidding.
Yeah, because I was just like,
where were you in high school?
Where was I? Not at high school.
You could have helped me with my algebra.
I could. I wanted to. It's funny because I didn't learn it. I didn't pay attention at school. Did you know, like, my name's Mitch? Everybody's name, Chris, has a etymology of like the history of your name, the truth of your name. So Mitch has a history, etymological history, and to Mitch is a verb, which means to skip school. And I was like, that's it's my mom's fault.
Wow.
That's why I didn't go to school, because it's my destiny. Roman omen, which is an old saying from ancient Rome, which meant nomen omen, which meant your name is your destiny.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, every name has a meaning.
Yes, every word has it's unbelievable. People don't want to. I've noticed that people's heads explode when they slow down and consider how much they use language and how little they actually know what they're doing with it.
So is it so So how, when you were in that Trees, right? That was the name of the band. So how did you get paid for performances? What was the contract like? Were you paid up front? And what if they didn't pay you? Said, "Oh, I got a free show."
No, we were just ticketing the shows. So we were flying, but we weren't signed. We were undie. So we were just going through the process of like cold calling bars, getting shows lined up. We had a manager and a sound engineer that were doing it pro bono to help us, and we all just threw our money together and did our own production, and then we sold tickets and did the shows that way.
Did you have like an electronics press kit, an EPK that you send out?
Well, that band ended. I quit.
No, but how about yourself?
Pardon?
Don't you have one
Me?
for yourself?
I should.
You should.
I'm really bad at like almost everything.
You're bad.
Unless I'm focused on it, I just doesn't even exist. And I'm trying to, because I'm thinking about that today. Like, I need to get a website. But then it's like,
I do. I need one.
We all need a website, yeah. So we did have I think we had a cool photographer come up to a lot of our stuff, and he took a lot of content, snapped a lot of content. Personally, by myself, I have stuff, but I just need to get it. I had a website, then I lost, and I couldn't afford it, and I got it down, and then I got it again, and then it went back down again. So I don't know. It might be online.
Yeah, when you collaborated with other artists, like when you had Brendan and Sarah, and actually, what's her name? The other girl that was here just a few weeks ago. Well, Willow. When Willow was here, Willow Dunn. That's a musician you should follow. Willow Dunn. Remember when she was here?
No,
Willow?
I don't think.
Wasn't he here when Willow was here?
Who's Willow Dunn?
The last time that we met outside, there was a girl named Willow Dunn, and yeah. How come I know that I was here every Friday? But
Well, they did another thing without me.
Okay,
there was a showcase of
Willow
4.
Dan. She's good. Check her out on Instagram.
Okay.
Willow Dan. She was good. DAAN.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So now, when you approach a collaboration with other artists like Sarah and all that, are these your friends, or if you go somewhere and you like how they play, you approach them and say, "Come with me"?
Well, yeah, they're all my friends. I consider them my friends. I make friends quite easily, but I don't really like to be in bands. Like I'm not pro. I've tried many times to work in a band, either to be a leader of a band or be a part of a band. And then I tell them, like, and I try to be as honest as possible. It's like to your question earlier, like I don't even know where I'm going to be to like headspace by the end of the day. So like I've just out of sheer respect, I try not to collaborate too much anymore, because like I tend to like leave projects. Like I just don't. They're not energizing at all. So it's not that there's anything wrong with them or the music is bad or anything. I just kind of like, I got to go over there now. I'm very solitary.
Yes, I remember when I worked. I remember a project I did in college, and one girl, her father worked for the Ontario Pipeline, whatever, and they needed the website redone.
Yeah.
So one guy took graphics, one guy took the writing, I took something else. So all 4 of us got together to get her husband's website done. Now, when you look at it, none of our names are on there. It just says her name.
Oh,
So that's why I refuse to work with people like that, because
yeah, you should get
they're not going to
credit.
put your name on it.
Yeah, they should.
You know, that's why I have my own show.
Right, yeah, then you're in charge, right?
But it was terrible. I'm looking, Canada Pipeline. Wow, my name still isn't in there.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I know. And yeah, and she was going to pay us a lot of money and stuff, but said, no. Like, who the hell are you?
But with the band stuff, I've noticed like it's always fun, but it's a lot of work. Surprisingly, it's a draining amount of work, so it doesn't refill me faster than it drains me. And it's nothing personal. It's not like the people are bad or I don't like their music or anything. It's just I've just noticed that like I can't keep up. I just have to. I get refreshed by being alone. Like so, like
Really?
when I was busking on the street,
Mm-hmm.
I made $7.50, which I gave to the needy. Right? Like I'm not gonna make money busking. Nobody barely. I got to talk to a few people because I initiate conversation, but nobody cares, and that's where I get energy. There's something about that gives me energy. Now I'm ready to go and take on the world. But working with other people and trying to create and put on a show, that takes something from me that I can't get back. I don't know what it is.
So when you play, your guitar here.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that a Taylor? Is that a
No.
Stratocaster?
It's a Martin.
It's a Martin.
Yeah.
I've never seen a Martin. I've seen them all, but a Martin.
You want to see a Martin?
Yeah, I want to see a Martin.
This is a funky Martin because it's
Wow.
a traveler guitar.
Really?
This is my favorite guitar now.
They have Traveler Martins?
Yes, they do.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. Look at that.
Yeah, eh?
It's got writing on it and everything.
Yeah, I'll tell you the story why.
Keep up the good fight. You are loved. Oh, I love this. Was this customized? Check that out.
So it's not custom, no. It's you can buy this at Long McQuaid or a guitar
Did it
shop.
show up in the whole thing? Okay, good.
It's just like my dad's like, this is when you go to the woods
That's amazing. Wow.
and paddle myself around.
Look, wow.
It's cool, right?
It is. I like it.
And it's people when I was playing it the other day on the street, they're like, "What is that?" I'm like,
I know.
It's a guitar, and they're like, "It is?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's just a little bit of different shape. That's all." But, yeah,
I've seen cigar box
yeah,
and Lego guitars.
yeah.
What's another strange one? I saw one guy who took like one of those pallets, construction sites.
It's good.
He started skin and he started playing.
Oh my god, yeah.
So did you ever see that? That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
And it works.
Oh yeah, music, man.
I love this.
Just hit it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
So my original intention with this guitar was, so I think I have at least 4 guitars that are completely covered in signatures.
All Martins?
No, I have a Gretsch and a Martin, and
Gretsch. Whoa.
Charles is a Taylor, but I don't have anything on that.
I gotta ask. Okay,
Yeah.
so I go to Lone McQuaid's, and every wall has like all the violins, all the pianos with it, and then they have one with all the bass guitars. You got the Martins, the Taylors, Stratocasters. I think it's called the Sadowski. Is it Sadowski? Sadowski.
Sadowski?
And from $500, and the most expensive one is $8,530, which is on the right there somewhere.
I've looked at that one quite a bit.
I gotta ask you, and I've asked every musician. I want to know what your answer is. If 5 people stood there playing, one was playing a Martin, one was playing a Taylor, whatever, would you know which one's which by the sound?
Oh, that's a good question. I hope I would. Yeah, I would.
Would you sit there? Oh, you got a Martin, or oh, you know.
Well,
you're
is
playing-
it the same person playing
no,
a different one?
different one.
So, but like, could you have like
Playing at
some
the same
hack
time.
playing a $8,000 guitar? Because then you.
It'll be like, okay, everyone, I want you to play Thunderstruck on. Ready? Go. In sync, and they're all playing. Would you know?
Not if they were all playing at the same time, but
No, I know. But what if they just played? They started the one guy
You
started
can do-
Heroes. The guy started
yeah,
an ABBA song. Would you know?
I-
Which one's got the Martin here? Which one?
yeah, I think so. Because like Fraser sent this cool video about the difference between the quality of sound between like what was it 100, 1,000, 10, 200, 2,000, and then $20,000 guitar.
Wow, what
And
is that
like-
made out of? Crystal?
No, it's just really old, so it's got like that in it.
Yeah,
Because like you were saying, like, oh, the walls listen. Well,
Yeah.
these things, the longer you have them, the better they sound, because they take all of the vibrations from your voice and from travel and from hacking around and from playing, and it soaks the wood.
Okay, so this guitar, this Martin, I'm left-handed. Sorry.
Oh, you are, eh?
I can't.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I can't do this.
You got to be the Jimmy now. You got to just
I can't do this. Just when so I'll be learning the violin.
Oh my!
I have to do it like this.
Yeah.
Nothing I can do because I'm left-handed.
You're a lefty. Yeah, that's cool.
So when you tune that, how do you tune it? Do you use a tuning fork with the, or do you just know by ear?
But I want to get tuning fork. It's a little bit by. I just know if it's out of tune or not, and then I just use my phone, just to be safe, because you get a little bit off and then everything goes false.
I like that guitar. I love that.
It's cool, right?
Yeah.
It's such a nice.
They all look like that. The ones you got?
All my guitars? No. This is the.
Oh, that's the only one that looks kind of misshapen.
This one is the only one that's like this.
Wow.
I have different. I think I have. The last time I counted, I think it was. I think it was like 16 guitars.
Really?
Different kinds of guitars. Yeah, 16.
I remember talking to one, and he had 30 guitars on the wall, and he said that in order sometimes to pay a bill, he'd have to sell one of his bass guitars. He had to sell that one over there. It was interesting. So the whole wall was filled with bass guitars. Like,
he doesn't have any money either.
Is that a Sadowski? Was that a Martin? You get to know these ones over time.
When they give you go to the along the equator, there used to be, I don't know, did you ever go to the guitar shop in Port Credit? It used to be a store on just a little bit east of here. Oh, it was the best store. Like they were the best people. They both they gave up. Well, they quit. They closed the shop last year. It's not even that old, like a little while ago. And I was like, oh no. He's like, yeah, I'm just fed up. I just don't want to do it anymore. I was like, I respect that, man.
Oh, wow.
But when you go in the humidor room, and then you take off like a $20,000, like a $35,000 acoustic Martin, and you hold this thing in your hand, it's like you meld. It becomes you. It's like the feelings that you can get from the wood. It's like unbelievable. And then you grab $100 guitar made of plastic, and you just like the action's like this high, and it's just like all twangy and no harmonics or anything. It's just amazing.
Play something quick. Something short. I'll add this to the podcast.
Something short.
We're gonna do the walkthrough again.
Let's bring snow, cruising on the way back, caught between seasons and realize everything goes, everything's pieces, everything's weightless, everything's fine. Want you to know you're part of my soul. Let your love go and see where it flows. Let's bring snow, cruising on the way back, caught between seasons and realize everything's fine. Everything. Amazing how that's the same instrument, but they're not even the same universe.
Do you clean it yourself, or do you string it yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything.
I got to restring this one soon, but yeah.
Okay, I gotta know. Pick or nails?
Oh my god, I never use pick.
Oh, okay.
I've never. I mean, I hate. Yeah, never.
Why?
Because it's so restrictive. I can't do it, and I could practice. I could use it, but I have 5 picks right here. So why did I need a pick?
I know a pick sounds like you're taking a fork and putting it. You know when people eat with a fork and you get this.
Yeah, I'm not a pick guy either.
So you're a fingernail guy.
Yeah, I don't remember Justin Hill, he came here. He's fantastic.
That's right. Yeah.
He's always one better than me at everything, but he would always put the pick here, and then pick with these fingers, and then when you needed the pick, you take it out in the same song.
That is, I like that. Wow.
Yeah.
Some musicians are very talented.
Oh my god,
That's amazing.
He retuned things on the fly. I love watching him play. He's just so entertaining.
So do you think your music has evolved over the years?
Yeah.
Like if you were to go and talk to the Mitch 15 years ago, is there something you could teach him?
No, because he wouldn't listen. But that we could try. Good job. It's gonna be hard, Mitch. It's gonna be hard. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's a no. But I can tell you that the relaxation has been the experience. It's not necessarily getting better. It's just relaxing into music as opposed to trying very hard. Because when I look back on videos of myself when I was younger and I'm playing and I'm singing, usually the time I'm drunk because I'm just so scared I have to be drunk in order to do it, and it's just all harsh and like sweating and squeezing and you're off time, and it's just like, good for you, good for you.
I remember this guy. He found a video of him that he did 25 years earlier.
Oh wow, yeah.
And he did an update where he's responding to his younger self. It's hilarious. Did you ever see that one?
Oh my gosh,
it's hilarious. He just so that's what came to my mind. Anyway, I digress.
One time I was busking, and I had written this song that I thought was really good, but it had the F word in it.
Oh.
And I'm not shy from using it, but after this moment, I was always conscious of it, very conscious of it, because I was playing on the sidewalk, and there was a big crowd of people because it was at the intersection, and they're all waiting for the light, and it happened to be that point of the song when I was going to drop the F-bomb, and I dropped the F-bomb, and this nice homeless man who I befriended because he would always sit under the pole, he just looked at me and he went, and from then I was like, you can't swear too casually. You have to be very aware of this because a homeless man is embarrassed of me. That's
well. There are two songs by Eminem, Stan, with Dido, my favorite, and one called River with Ed Sheeran.
Oh, you didn't?
And that song is about abortion, but the one and I refuse to sing that anymore. The one with Stan, he used the F word several times.
Yeah.
I can't even sing that one now.
Yeah. It's really like, if it doesn't have to be there, then it shouldn't be there. But if it's done right and you're in the right place, it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So who would you like to collaborate with if you had a chance?
Oh wow.
And you have to use that guitar as well.
Oh,
maybe they'll sign it.
Yeah. Who would I love to collaborate with?
Yeah. Anybody.
Help me out. What? Do you mind if I twist your question a bit? Because it's like I don't know about collaborate, but I definitely would love to meet people and talk to them, because if music can open doors for further conversation, because like I was saying, like I want to learn about economics. I find out this thing called modern monetary theory, and I start to learn about this. Your access to like, oh my god, all these professors are now. I can't talk to them because they don't know who I am and they're busy. But if you're talented and you're famous, then you'd be like, hey, like I'm learning this. Can I talk to you about this? And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. I heard your song. I like your song. Like that would be unbelievable to have conversations. Like you like having these podcast conversations, right? So that's I don't really, when it comes to, because I know I'll get involved, I'll collaborate and it'll be all exciting, and then I don't want to do it anymore because like that's just how my brain works. So I always want to like keep collaboration at arm's length because I don't know how I'm gonna.
I'll change the question for you.
Yeah.
You opened up the door, and it's this guy that has this 5-neck bass guitar. Okay, let's jam.
Five necks.
You ever seen a 5-neck?
5-neck.
All, and I see the guy playing them all. Like,
that's like a harp.
5 necks.
How does he play them all?
Oh yeah.
Does he have to like
5
do
necks.
this? Wow, 5 necks. The tension on that thing.
One that actually plays a 4-neck is the guy from Cheap Trick.
4-neck.
You see him play the 4-neck Cheap Trick. Yeah. You ever heard of Cheap Trick?
No.
My generation.
Well, I mean, he could either start playing and then I'll play with him, or I'll play and he'll play with me.
So you are a solo artist.
Yeah, most of the time. But I can jam. Like I play with other people. But like jamming is so much fun. But it's when you start to put things down into place. It's like a relationship, right? Yep. If you get into a relationship with somebody and you're the one who needs them, you're in a very like rocky boat, because you want to be in a relationship where you want to be so comfortable where you are that the boat just doesn't rock anymore, right? Like when you get into relationships with people and you're like, that song can't be played unless you do it this way. Now there's this headbuttings that can happen, or what if they leave the band? You just worked all this time, and then they leave the band. Like that, I literally have done that to people. I've literally been the one who's done that.
Or the one who started the band was kicked out. Dennis DeYoung from Styx. He started the band. Tommy Shaw didn't like him and kicked Dennis DeYoung out.
Yeah.
It happens with all these bands. Just
Yeah.
because you started the band doesn't mean they're going to keep you, because maybe they think, oh, we had enough of you. You know?
Yeah, right. If you're bad energy.
What do you call them? Back. What do you call them? Anyway.
Users.
Stab me in the back.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that.
No.
Like, but I do like to respect the creative process. That's what I would say.
Wow, we're almost through the questions. This is awesome.
Yay.
This is great. So what role does social media play?
Oh, finally, I
Social
can
media killed reality.
There. This is finally.
Is it true? So you don't use social media except Instagram?
I use it. Oh yeah, I use it. I love that. This is We Are the Peace. It's like a not-for-profit. It's just trying to bring more peace to the world, and they came up with this, and I was like, this is so true, because to the point about thoughts aren't real. Like, people's interactions, their time consumption, or what they consume with their time, is like really, really important. So we're having these mediated, segmented slices of experience through the phone, right? Through the social media. And that is creating, it is a Marshall McLuhan effect on us.
Oh, wow, Marshall McLuhan.
Remember
wow.
Marshall McLuhan?
I haven't heard, yeah, I know.
The medium is the massage,
Yeah.
the message.
The medium is the message.
You have to respect the fact that this is warping your version of reality. And if you aren't a conscious person, then you're going to be warped without knowing it. So when I say like the social media killed reality, it's like people are having a hard time making eye contact. They can't have a conversation anymore. They can't sit still and think about like what they should do with their lives, and they just panic everywhere. And then they go on their phones, and it's just like puppies skipping around and panicking, and then explosion, and then color, and then sound. And it's like, I don't need to do anything anymore.
Yeah.
I can just be here for the rest of my life.
I know before social media, you'd be on a train or bus, people were talking with one another. But now I'm on the train and
Well, do you? This
on
is
the
a
subway,
good
and I'm
spot.
looking at everyone, subway, and
Because I was going to ask you from your experiences growing up as well, because I'm 37, so I was around before the internet. I remember that.
you're 37?
Yeah.
Wow, I thought you were like 24 or something.
Thank you.
Wow,
Yeah.
you're vegan?
Am I a vegan?
Yeah.
No.
So you don't, the Greta Thunberg? How dare you?
How dare you? You stole our future. I mean, I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah.
I remember not having the internet. I remember not having a phone. I remember all that. I was conscious. I was a teenager. But you have a more, and you guys remember that of like, do you remember a time when this stuff wasn't around? What was life like? Because now we're here, and I'm not saying it's good or bad, but has things changed? Because you guys have the experience.
Yeah, my dad had the Model T Ford.
Did he? First one off the line, eh? Yeah.
No, but yeah, I remember. And back then, there's just cathode ray CRT TV with, it wasn't just thin, it was the large. I don't know if you're familiar with the Moses Neimer Television Museum.
No. The Moses Neimer?
Yeah, so Moses Neimer, he was the president of City TV, I think, back in his 80s and 90s.
Okay.
And they have the TV museum, and it had all the TVs from the 40s to the 70s, and they look more futuristic than the flat ones we have today. Do you remember that? The TV museum.
Huh. No, I don't.
I've seen TVs from the 50s that look like from like 2080. Like the TV, like now we got these, flat screens. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They got hologram TVs now.
soon, yeah.
I think they have them now. Like there's a
hologram one?
projection up, and
Oh.
you can watch it from every angle because there's no screen. The screen is a hologram.
Oh, I don't know
Like,
that.
oh my God, I mean, I don't know for sure, but like I remember I used to work at Best Buy back in 2007, and it was the time when Best Buy and Future Shop were butting heads because Future Shop was on commission.
Yeah.
So Best Buy had the slogan of like, no commission, no pressure. And they were selling TVs. There was so much pressure. There's unbelievable amounts of pressure from the management. Like you have to upsell them, and you have to sell them these extended warranties. And I remember one time a guy came in. I didn't like the job. I don't want to be a salesman. A guy came in and he's like, "What's the difference between a Sharp and a Panasonic?" And I was like, "I don't know. What do you think the difference is?" And he's like, "Well, a Sharp looks like it's a better picture." And I was like, well, that's because it's a better picture. He's like, okay, well, I'll buy that one then. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, you guys, you come in making up your mind. I'm not gonna like stop you from buying a TV.
Remember when Canadian Tire sold TVs? They sold the candle.
They did?
That was a fire hazard. If you had a candle, it would just suddenly kill a fire. And I talked to many firemen who said that they found out what the caused the fire, the candle TV sets. And we had one. So we were
Candle
lucky.
TV sets?
The candle. It was a company candle. Remember the candle? Yeah.
Wow.
It's fire hazard, just like the Cougar and the Pinto.
The Pinto, if you hit it from behind, yeah, the gas tank would ignite and it would blow up.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, we're going through these questions. This is awesome. Thank you, man.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you.
So, what are your goals for the future?
What are my goals for the future? That's a good question. Since the other day with busking, like I got like through some psychological. I just want to. I felt like I've been holding myself back creatively, so now I kind of want to break through that, and especially vocally. Like I've gotten away with singing, but I've never really tried to like dig my teeth into that specific part of singing or music creation. And so my goal now is to like see how far I can get with my vocals.
Yeah. And I got two of the most hardest questions here. Let's see if you can answer them.
Oh, I love hard questions.
How do you deal with criticism or negative feedback?
I curl up in a ball and die.
No, literally, you haven't had someone say, "I don't like your," or take your guitar and break it? Like,
oh yeah,
you suck.
No, I don't think anybody's ever said I suck. But I've had I'm the worst person in my life. Like I'm ruthlessly aggressive to myself, and I don't know why. I'm not a peaceful person when it comes to my creative process. I'm always trying to handcuff myself and betray myself and find shortcuts. So like I just have to like relax and like no, don't take that shortcut. Don't use that old language. Don't be mean to yourself. It's just music, man. Relax. Just do it. If you want to do it, then do it. Don't worry too much. But everybody, I've only ever had really good experiences with everybody else. Like lucky, very lucky.
Well, people want to know, do you have any words of advice for up and coming Understandtrees people?
Wait, little sprouts? Just get plenty of water and sunlight. No,
like someone walks up to you and says, "I want to do what you do because I love your guitar and I want one like that."
You know what's weird is that now that I guess because I am 37, even though I don't look like it,
yeah.
I've been like the same places I used to go when I was younger. There are younger people doing it now, so they're 20, 21, and I'm 37, and they're like, "Oh, that was a cool song. Like you write your own songs." I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "I always wanted to do that. Like I don't know where to start. Like what's the like, I've been getting that from younger people.
Well,
and it's like it's such an amazing experience, as I'm sure you know. Like it's a humbling experience to be asked. So I I don't want to be like I want to ask more like questions. I don't want to tell people. It's like like they'll be like, "How do you know when a song is done?" And it's like, I don't know. Like, how do you know when it's done? And like, well, I don't know. That's my problem. It's like, well, for me, it's like when it's done, it's done. It feels right. It feels like it's done. Yeah. It's like if I had to like be trite and give some kind of like sentence wise advice, it would just be relax. Like relax into the experience. I know your heart's racing. I know your palms are sweating. Knees, big arms are heavy. That's an Eminem song. Like just relax. Like just relax, and then just let everything happen after that, and see what happens.
That's amazing. Wow. And they'll be running around and say, "I have no idea what he said. Let's go to someone else."
This is not helping. Yeah. Now I'm panicking.
This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Mitch. Really appreciate.
You're welcome, Chris.
Beautiful interview. Thank you so much for my team.
Yes.
And
you have to come to Colette's.
Yeah. And
the best cafe in Port Credit.
Yep. And so really appreciate this. Okay, everyone. And all his music will be linked down below in the show notes. Make sure that you send me everything I need, like the links and stuff.
Okay, sure.
Good. Okay, everyone.
Thank you.
We're going to end this stream. Thank you very much for joining us. Bye.